After a couple of hours, I decided to continue playing the game. I don't know why, but I had to know. I had to figure out why this was happening. So I turned on the computer, turned on the game, and selected Robotnik next. I still thought that was wacky, playing as Robotnik, but anyway, the level title appeared again, and this time it said ... which I found really freaky. This time it was in some kind of hallway. It didn't really look like it was from any of the classic Sonic games. Though it has the pixelated style, the floor was shiny and checkered. The walls were a dark grayish purple with animated candle lights and a few dark bloodstains here and there. And there was a dark red curtain hanging above on the top of the part of the screen. Every 12 seconds or so, that red curtain sways very slowly, but whenever you are playing the game, you can barely see it move. The music was oddly pleasant, a piano playing a rather sad yet peaceful song, but I knew better. This was the song that played in Hell Act 1, only it wasn't in reverse. Robotnik didn't look entirely nervous like Tails and Knuckles did, but he did have a suspicious look on his face, as if he was just a bit paranoid. He did a little animation when I just left him standing. He turns his head to the left and then to the right, at least twice, and then shrugs at me, as if he has no idea where he was or what was going on. Even though I was scared out of my mind about what was going to happen, I had Robotnik continue onward. He did his usual running animation, you know, when you've beaten him at the end of a classic Sonic game, and you chase him, as we continue going through the hallway. Then I stopped at a long flight of stairs leading downward. Now I was nervous. Even Robotnik seemed unsure of himself, though I pressed onward. As I led Robotnik down the stairs, I noticed that the walls have gotten darker and more reddish. The red torches are now an eerie blue. Then we landed onto another hallway. This one was longer than the last one, or at least it felt like it. And then we headed down another flight of stairs down. This one was much longer, took at least 1 full minute. Then I heard that horrid Kefka laugh again, and the music slowly faded until it was quiet. As it did, the walls turned more dark red and the torches were a black flame now. And Robotnik landed onto the third hallway. I noticed how he looked really creeped out. Though he tried to hide it, I couldn't blame him. I was scared too. Suddenly, Sonic popped right in front of Robotnik the same way he did Knuckles, and then red static. The red static lasted for about 15 seconds, and then it showed me an unpleasant image. The image showed a hyper-realistic of Sonic standing in the darkness where you can see his face, while his head and torso faded into black. And when I say hyper-realistic, I mean he looks so real, you could actually see the lines in his blue fur. As if you could actually feel the fur if you touched the screen. His face, oh god, he had the most horrifying smile I'd ever seen. And that's saying something considering I saw that image at the start of the game. His eyes are wide and black and once again crying blood, which also looked hyper-realistic. And there were 2 small glowing red dots in those black eyes staring, once again, right at me, as if staring into my mind. His grin was wide and demonic. It literally stretched to the sides of his face like a terrestrial cat. Except Sonic had fangs, very sharp fangs, much like the werehog's teeth, except much more vicious. Somewhat yellowish, and from the look of it, he had stains of blood and small bits of flesh on his lip, and fangs as if he had ate some animal. I stared at that gruesome image for a good 30 seconds, never taking my eyes off of it. I felt as if he was actually looking at me, smiling at me, that face. Just took 10 seconds for it to edge itself into my brain for good. Then the screen flickered with red static again, 3 times, and on the 3rd time I heard the Kefka laugh. Except this time, it sounded distorted, demonic even. It went back to the image again, except this time, there was the text again, though it was messed up. But it was pretty much one of the most horrifying things I looked at once I had this game. I am God. It was when I read that message while looking at Sonic when it hit me. I realized there and then, this Sonic was a monster, a pure, evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented monster, and all of his victims, including Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and possibly Kyle, are just little toys. And the game is the very gateway into his chaotic, nightmarish world, the very hell his victims are trapped in. Suddenly, in the actual split second, I screamed as Sonic lunged at the screen, screeching loudly with his mouth wide open to an unnatural length, revealing nothing but a literally spiraling abyss of pure darkness before the red static came again. This time much louder and distorted, so loud that it hurt my ears. I yelled and I grabbed my ears as the red static screeched for a good 7 seconds. Then it stopped and showed me nothing but black screen. As I sat there, staring at the black screen, one last text came up. Ready for round 2, Tom. The Kefka laugh, now sounding more clear as if Sonic was right behind me, played again 3 times as I looked at that text in shock and confusion. Then I got booted back to the main menu, and this time the third save file had a TV image of Robotnik in the same tormented state as Tails and Knuckles. Robotnik's skin turned a dull gray, his mustache drooped and had blackened. His glasses broke and blood is coming from them, and he had a mere dead-like expression on his face. I looked at Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik, and I cried a bit. I pitied them for the agony they are going through. They were forever trapped within the game, forever tormented by that horrid hedgehog, and always will be. Then, the computer shut itself off. I couldn't turn it back on no matter what I did. I sat there for maybe 25 seconds horrified of what had just happened. Sonic is the very embodiment of evil. He tortures people who play his game in more ways than one, and then when he gets bored, he drags you into the game, literally drags you to hell, where you can play with, always, his toy. I can't get the game out of my computer. I think it's stuck in there.